Hello, welcome back to my channel. Thank you for coming back, and as always, huge massive thank you for the support. So today I'm coming back again with the Hunkydorys Moonlit Moments, which is the current members free gift. I think it's still available, and today I've got the Tropical Delights. I was going to do the butterflies, but then I thought no, I'm going to do these hummingbird ones, and you obviously got this one with a happy birthday on. You've got the beautiful foiled cardstock with the little sparkles and the stars in between the grass. You've got the printed cardstock, which is really cool as well, and I did just bring the inserts out just so that I had them ready. I don't think I'm going to be using the printed papers today though, so let me just pop that to the side for a second. And I'm going to bring in a piece of 6x12 cardstock. This is the 300 GSM white, and I thought I'd start today with a little stepper card. So I'm going to move this over to the 1 inch mark, and I'm going to cut from 1 to 7, and I'm just going to rotate that and do the same on the other side. And there is a template for this on my Pinterest and on my Facebook as well. So it's just Sybil Dean's concoctions the same. So let's pop that out of the way for a moment and bring in the scoreboard. And I'm going to score at 1 inch up to the cut line, 2 inch up to the cut line, and 7 inch up to the cut line. And then I'm just going to turn it over and do exactly the same on the other side. So 1, 2 and 7. And then if I just bring my ruler in, so across this middle part here, I just want to score at the halfway point of my card, which is the 6 inch. So if I pop my ruler and butt it up against here, can then just go in and put a score line in that centre. Okay, so let's move that one out of the way and put that ruler back so I don't lose it. And then what I'm going to do is just gently tease this paper to the way we want it to go. So if I gently just giving it little fold, just letting it know which way we want it to go, and it doesn't really matter whether you're folding it the right way or the wrong way at this point. It's just about getting that paper moving. And then what I can do is bring in my porcelain bone folder. Oops, slippy. And I'm just going to put a proper tight crease on these corners. And then I'm going to move these into position. It's just about being gentle with it really. Just get that lined up. And then hopefully now it should all begin to fall into place. And then I can go along and burnish all those other creases that I haven't done yet. Up with a finished card that looks like that. Okay, so we're going to bring the trimmer back in, and I'm going to bring in a piece of gold foil. Now I'm not going to try and do a mat to do this as one piece, you know, I'm just going to do it exactly the same way that I always do it. So I'm going to do a piece that's going to mat for 1 inch by 6 inch along here. So I always take 2 of these notches off, which is 1/8 or 2/16, and then I'm going to do the same on the length. So 2 notches off the 6. Just get rid of that bit there. And this is a 6x6 Marie mat from Hunkydorys. So these pieces here, they're 1 inch by 5. So again, I'm going to take 2 notches off that one. and this time 2 notches off the 5, and I need 2 of those. And just rotate that round. Okay, so that's that one there. And then this space in the middle is 4 by 5, so I'm going to take 2 notches off the 4. You can keep that for a border if you want to, and then 2 notches off that 5, and that will fit nicely into there. So if I bring back the cardstock, so I thought I would use the foiled one. Let's just move that out of the way a second. So I am going to start by doing the 2 pieces to map on the 1 by 5. So I'm going to go to 3/4 of an inch, and then I'm going to go to 4 3/4. I don't think I'm going to get 2 pieces out of this. No, so you can save that for another card, or use it to punch things out of, butterflies, flowers, that sort of thing. So I'm going to need to do another piece exactly the same for the other side. So that is 3/4 of an inch by 4 3/4. Again, you've got that other piece left over. And then this piece, I need to do a piece 1 by 6 or to map that. So we're looking at 3/4 of an inch again. But I want to include more of this foiled border, so I'm going to take probably about 2 notches off the bottom. So again, we've got a pretty piece of border there that we can use, and then I'm going to cut that to 3/4. And then that is going to be 5 3/4, because it's the full length of the card at the bottom. And then we just need a piece for this 4 by 5. So I'm going to go 3 3/4 and 4 3/4. So 3 3/4 by 4 3/4. Again, you've got a nice square of card left over there, and I think that is all we need for the start. So let's get do some assembling. So I'm going to open my card up, make it a bit easier for myself. And the glues I'm going to be using, they're going to be my usual glue. So in this white pot, I've got the Kalau tacky glue, and in this one I've got the Kalau all-purpose. This is an alcohol-based glue similar to the Hunkydorys one. Does a fabulous job, in my opinion. Okay, so let's bring in the smaller pieces of gold first of all. So I'm going to work from the top back. So I just like a piece of this, a little dot of the tacky glue in the corners, just to, my nozzle's a little bit blocked there, just to hold those edges down. I've got a weird thing about edges not coming up. And then I'm just going to pop that down as straight as I can. And then we'll go to the other side and do exactly the same thing. And the wonderful thing about this glue is that you do get that little bit of wiggle room time, which we definitely do need. And the tacky glue reduces that a little bit, so it just means that I can work on the next part and not have to worry too much about it moving. So let's do, just trying to work out which way is up and which is down, or even if there is an up and a down. That should be there, maybe. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so the only thing you have to worry about with, well, not worry about with this glue, is just not to go too close to the edges if you're going to be using any kind of mirror card, because if you do get the glue on and then try to, actually I'm going to turn that around, I think, no we're not, keep it as it was. If you do get any on that mirror card and you wipe it off, it can take some of the shine off, which kind of gives like a brushed metal effect. So if you are looking for that effect, it might be something you are looking for. I don't know how it would work if you're doing it over a larger patch, but if you're trying to keep to a nice mirror sort of matte like I'm using here, you probably just want to be a little bit careful that you don't go on it. What I would say is if you do go on over and your matte does, the glue does splurge a little bit, resist the temptation to wipe it. Just let it dry as it is. You're going to get a better finish than, you know, trying to wipe it off that mirror. So just popping that piece on, and I think I'm going to have that going along the bottom. And this is a nice quick card to put together, really, with a lot of effect for, you know, in terms of the effort you have to put into it. So let's pop that to there. Just going to hold that up. The light's just shining in my eye a little bit there. Yep, happy with that. And then we've got this one here. And then we can start decorating with the toppers. I don't know which one I'm going to use yet. Kind of thought I might go with a happy birthday one, but I might change my mind. We'll have a look when we drag these up in a sec. So putting a good amount of pressure on just to make sure that that has a good contact with the actual card. And again, just gluing that on. There we go. And then if I fold that up, that's the card that we're starting with. So already looking nice. Very little you could do to ruin it at this stage. If your card does fall like that, just reinforce those creases. And it's actually on a slippy mat, but it will be fine. Let's pop that to the side. Let's have a little look. So I think I might go with these little flowers on the actual arms, if you like. I'm not going to use the Just For You border. I think I'm just going to go with, you know, the sentiment one. I just have to get them out without ripping them. Just being super careful. Okay, and do I want any of those? Don't think so. It might come back, but we'll have a look. I think it might be alright with this. So let's just pop all of these out again. Just being super careful. I don't think I'm going to use this in a frame. I know I'm a bit predictable with that, but I just like the effect of having the cardstock coming through because it is so gorgeous. Okay, let me bring in some foam pads, and if I pop my card down, let's just do a little bit of quick planning. That's going to look better that way around. I want to make sure that this tip doesn't go over the top of the card, otherwise I'm not going to be able to get it in a 6x6 envelope. And then we've got these little flowers that we can put along here. Maybe, let's see, would they look better down there? We go in the middle, I think, because there's no flower in the middle. Okay, so we don't have to worry about foam pads because they're going to be all covered on this one. What I will do though is just nip some of these pips off with my little nail file. This is just a normal emery board file, but I just keep it just for these pips. And it's just a little bit of card that was holding the pieces in place. That's the only thing that is. So it's just a little bit of card. Right, that's that's okay. Now these ones I am going to have to cut down a little bit. And these are 1mm foam pads. So they were just a little bit bigger than my actual piece. I'm just making sure that none of them are visible. But I do want enough on there to, sorry, excuse me, provide a good amount of support just in case somebody does want to post this, because this will be going off to the sorry again, the Ostrich Foundation as part of my card challenge, which I made the 200th card yesterday, so doing really well. I think if I can keep that up between now and the 2nd of March, they're obviously going to have over 1,000, I think. But you know, hopefully that's the target I'm sort of in my head aiming for. I'd really like to have them give them 1,000 cards to raise money for them down there in Harrogate. Just think it's the first charity that I've heard that's sort of trying to help prevent suicide rather than dealing with people that have or are going through somebody having done that. Yeah, not that I'm saying that those charities are not as good, it's just, you know, it just is, it's too late after they've done it, do you know what I mean? And I think they do have a higher rate down there as well. I don't know whether it's, you know, the being up north sort of thing, but yeah, so I just thought it'd be nice to, even if just one person, do you know what I mean, is saved, then it's worth it for sure. Okay, and then I'm going to detach that from my hand. Just a little bit of tacky glue on these pads just gives me a little bit of wiggle room time. Which, as we know, I definitely do need. Now I did want the purple at the top, didn't we? So again, just making sure all my points are underneath the top of the card, so I know I'm going to have no problems getting that into a 6x6 envelope. And then this one we should be okay with these bigger pads. Oops, sticking to me. Just going to put one across the middle there. Yeah, feels good. And I'm seeing from the comments, people saying a lot of people have got their one of this kit now. I'm not sure if any of you guys are enjoying the extra shows from Hunkydorys, because they're on at 10 and 2 at the moment for their festival, which is really cool. Gotta love an extra bit of Hunkydorys. There was a card on this morning. I don't know if you guys saw it. I'm sorry, that's terrible English. It's like a stepper card, so like this, but it was like a double stepper. But I tried searching double stepper, and all I'm getting is just cards like this. So it was really, really impressive. So I think I might need to go back to that show and slow it right down and see if I can get a good sort of picture of it and see if I can work out how it's been done. Don't think you'd be able to do it on these 6x6s though, that's the only thing, because if there was another step, so let's say this is 1 inch, 1 inch, and then you've got another 2 steps, 1 inch, 1 inch, then you're only going to have about 2 inches there. Although I suppose you could have your topper coming off the sides, so that wouldn't be a problem. Okay, let's just quickly grab some gems. I can either go with those beautiful gold ones, or I have got some purple which I've hidden. What have I done with them? There, bear me 2 seconds. We don't need a sentiment because we've got a sentiment on there. Those ones. I think we'll have to go with those ones because ones I was thinking about have actually disappeared. Oh no, here they are. Under everything. So I've got these sort of dark purple ones. Thinking the gold ones is probably going to go better. Yeah, we'll go with the gold. Okay, so I'm just going to use my knife to pick those up. So I'm going to put one on there, one on there, and use 2 of these. Getting them up with the glue. The glue didn't want to come up. And one on there. And then I think I will go with another smaller one just down in the centre there. Okay, so that is the finished card for card number 1. You could put more gems on if you wanted to, or you could put a bit of ribbon, that sort of thing. So lots of ways that you can even take that further, but that is going to be quite a nice little card for my little collection. So I'm just going to clear down a little bit and get set up for card number 2. Okay, so for card number 2, again I'm taking a piece of 6 by 12 and I'm going to bring in my trimmer and just take this out. And I'm going to take that to 10 inches. So I've got a 2-inch piece here. And then I'm going to take that to 8 inches. Oh, I've got another 2-inch piece there. And we don't need that one, we just need this one here. So I will score that one in a second. So I'm going to move straight into some of the other layers. So I'm going to use a piece of acetate. And I'm going to cut this to 6, and I think it's just under 6 the other way, which is fine. Yep. And then we can come into our gold layers. So again, I'm going to take 2 sort of notches off, which is 1/8 as I said. So I'm going to go 2 notches under the 2. And 2 notches under the 6, and I need 2 of those because that's going to be on the front of the card. So let's just repeat that. So 2 notches under the 2 and 2 notches under the 6. And then because the back of this card is going to be visible through the acetate window, I need to put a mat for the back as well. So I'm going to start with, this again is the 6 by 6 piece, but I'm just going to take 2 notches off 2 of the sides just to make that really thin border that I like. Okay, so that's that. So if I bring in the printed cardstock, which is this one, I'm going to start by cutting that to 5 3/4. And I pick the one with the little ship. And I'm going to take a piece which is 1 3/4, which I'm going to put on the bottom. Let's see, what is this now? So this one now I can cut to 5 3/4. So that is going to go on the inside. And then we need another piece of 2 inches, and I'm going to cut it from the top because it is going to go on the top of the card. So again, little piece of acetate there, we need to be 1 3/4. So luckily we're just keeping that moon in, so that's perfect for another card. And then 5 3/4. Okay, so I'm just going to check that because it looks a little bit on the slant, so I'm not sure if the cardstock has moved in there, but we'll just give that another little trim. I'll get rid of that. Okay, so if I grab my scoreboard and my original card, and I'm going to score that at 2 inches, which is going to leave us 6 inches here. Okay, so now we can start to assemble. So I'm just going to give that a really good burnish down and bring in that other piece there. Now on this is Crafter's Companion Heavyweight Acetate, and it does have a protective film on it. So let me just going to find which side it's on, because you can't tell by looking at it. All you can do is scratch in a corner and see whether the coating comes up. So luckily this is going to be hidden under our project anyway. So this is just starting to come up. It would have been easier if I'd used my knife, but come on. And this is quite satisfying, peeling this off. There we go. So that is that piece there. I'm going to need some scissors and my tape. So we need to find the end. Okay, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to put 2 lines of this, and I don't want to go right to the edge because obviously my layers are going on top to hide all of the workings on my card. And I'm going to do the same at the top. Again, just being mindful. And then I need to do the same. Now, these cardstock does have a right and a wrong side. So it doesn't matter which side you use, they're both white, but it would look slightly different if I used the wrong side with this other piece. So I just needed to make that match. And there we go. So that is there. We need that again in a second. So just give those a really good burnish down. It just means the red tape comes off a little easier, and it also means that it's really nicely stuck down to my project. Now before I do the next bit, I just want to work out which is the right and which is the wrong way, because one side is slightly longer than the other, remember. Okay, so it needs to go that way. So I'm just going to take a little piece off and give that a burnish down so it stays up. And I'm going to do the same on this side here. And I did hear that this construction glue is the best glue for sticking to acetate, so I'm going to pop a bit of that in the middle. And what I'm going to do is just line the edges up on my card. Just want it to be as straight as possible. It's not a huge disaster at this point if it's not, because you can trim off those edges, and a lot of it is going to be hidden anyway, so it didn't work with my tail on that one, but there you go. Okay, so let's get rid of those. And I'm going to do the same again. And I think this piece is slightly easier in that it's hopefully just going to plonk itself down into place when we slip this underneath. Just make sure that stays where we want it to. It's not so bad if one of them moves, but if both of them move, it's a pain. Okay, so let's just line that up with the bottom of the card. And I'm just going to bring that across and down, and then whip that one out. Whip that one out as well. Give that a good press down, make sure that glue is moving around in there. I haven't put an awful lot on, but it's fine. That will do the job. That red liner tape is the best one to stick with the acetate, really, because it's the strongest. And then what I need to do is just repeat that process now, because it's going to be hard to get any of the glues. I mean, I've been told the construction glue will glue it, but I don't want it slipping around while I'm doing the next bit. So I'm just going to repeat that process with this tape. A little piece at the bottom, just again being mindful that I am going to be hiding this acetate or this glue with my layers. So I don't want to go too close to the top, and I don't want to go too close to the side. So these are again easier if I can get those to stay out of the way. Again, I'm going to use a little bit of this purpose glue, and then I'm going to take my gold layer, and I'm going to start, actually what I'm going to do is just pop this underneath. Just means I can see that white edge a bit easier. And I'm just going to put my layer where I think it should be. Let's move you out of the way. We can kind of just maneuver that into position, and then layer that one off, take that one off, and we are looking good on that one. So then again with this one, I'm going to do the same thing, make these little tails, give it a really good burnish down, so hopefully it stays out of the way for us. Again, be putting some of that all-purpose glue, and then again I'm going to come in at this side, put my layer where I think it should be, going across and across. Could have gone a little bit up on that side, it's not the greatest, but we can hide that, so that's not a problem. Okay, so let's open that up. Oops. And we can go back to all of our normal glues now. So the all-purpose all over. To put the tacky in the corners. Just a little bit. And then we can pop this in. Just make sure that's nice and straight. And then again with this one. Oops, a bit of a squirty noise there. And on that goes. Give it a good press down, make sure it makes good connection with that glue. And that's that piece done. So again, we need to put that way around because that's coming down. And again, all-purpose glue, tacky in those corners. And put that layer on nice and straight. And again, tacky in those corners. And then that's coming across. So that is the card without the topper. Just going to put my nail along there. It's just left a little bit of a fluff on the blade has left a little bit of fluff from my cardstock when it cut it. So it's cut it. So it's just the sign it needs replacing. But I quite often find if I run my nail along the top, it folds under into the glue. So that sort of fixes it, but I will need to change that blade. So again, just taking another one of these toppers out. I think I will use the one with the fire, not the firefly, the hummingbird. And then we need a sentiment. And I think I might go, I don't think I'm going to go with Let's Fly Away. I think I'm going to go with Lots of Love. And I think I'll probably go around about there. Don't think I'm going to use any of those other pieces, so we'll save those for another card. So we've got plenty of cardstock left out of this. So we've got that whole piece there, which could be a topper by itself. You can use one of the frames that we've taken off, just glue that behind, and you've got another piece of the foil there as well. I do quite often do that. So again, I'm going to take this middle frame out purely because I want that see-through element to come through through my card. So I've gone to all that trouble of putting the acetate on. I really want people to notice that I've gone to that trouble, or at least it's there as a design feature. Okay, again, I'm just going to come around with these pips. And what I tend to do is just keep it at a little bit of an angle, so I'm not taking the foil off, I'm only taking the pip itself. I think a little bit there. There's any on there. And sometimes you can just use your nail and just poke them down, but these ones are a little bit proud. Okay, so the most important thing about this, and it's not my strongest forte, but oh, there's another bit of a pip on that sentiment, so let's just get rid of that. And that's, I don't want the person who gets the card to open it up and see loads of foam pads on the inside. So we're going to do our best just to try and keep that a little bit clean. Okay, so I'm going to grab some foam pads. So we'll use these ones because there's not many left on those other. So the easiest way to work out where the foam pads need to go is just to flip that over. Okay, now again, I am going to have to cut this down a little bit. I think these ones are quite long, so I might have to chop them twice. So let's just... I have been trialing the Sticks 2 ones. I am getting on with them. Like I say, they are very different to the Hunkydory ones in that... actually, just cut that in a bit down. The Hunkydory backs come off a little easier. And obviously, essentially, they're doing the same job. They're 1mm foam pads, same as these. And that's purely because I'm just trying to keep these cards a little flat, because, you know, with them going to the charity, I'm keeping that in mind. Let's just make sure that is tucked in. Oops. And then across there. Yeah, so I'm just trying to keep them a little flat just because of that. I've nearly finished working through Treasured Moments kit. I think I've got one more card to make with the Happy Home. And I have one more topper set, full topper set in there. And what is that? I think that's Easter, the church one. And then I think there's a few little oddments from cards that I've made before, and then that will be the whole Treasured Moments kit done. So they are up on my Pinterest page, so Sybil Jones Concoctions, same. And they are up in the section marked cards I've made in 2024. There were 61 cards in that group before, in that section before I started my challenge. So that is how I am keeping my eye on the numbers. So I know, I think it's 263 at the minute, or is it 262? Anyway, I know I've got over the 200 mark, so I am really happy about that. I haven't got 200 packaged up though, because obviously some of them need to have inserts in, and some of them, well, they all will need an envelope. Just checking that I haven't that. That's fine. Yeah, they all will need an envelope, and then they need to go into a cello bag. But I have been doing that while I've been watching Britain's Got Talent this week. So well, I say watching, well, I don't watch, but it's on, you know. So yeah, so there is probably about 125 done, ready to go. So I don't know when my sister's going down. It'll either be her or my other nephew going down, because he's decided that Anthony's best friends are going to be the godparents of little Paisley. Okay, so what I'm going to do is just, I'm going to use this to hide up that little bit of sort of, it's not terrible, but it's just not as perfect as I would have liked. So just going to use this to hide that. There we go. And again, so if I open it up, all you can see is just the backs of the toppers. You can't see any glue, which is fantastic. So again, we're going to bring in some gems. I think for this one, I'm just going to go with some gold ones. So these are some that came from AliExpress. They were my go-to gems for a while. I've been trying to wean myself off them. And I'm just going to use a sticky pickup tool and pop those on. And the good thing about these is because I bought them in bulk from AliExpress, I don't feel bad about putting loads on. So I'm going to pop 2 there, and I'm going to pop 2 here. We want 2 about the same sort of size. So I don't know why those are fused together, but we will unfuse them when they can still stay together if they want to. So, not sure if there's enough glue on that one, but we will come back. And then, just because I do like odd numbers, just going to put a bigger bit there, and I'm going to go with one of these big ones in that top corner. Okay. And that is it. So that is that finished card. What I might do at a later date with this one, just to put an insert in it, I may come back with an insert and pop that on this bit along the bottom. I have done in the past, popped it onto the back, but I'm not sure whether people would automatically think to look there. That's the thing that I'm thinking about. But let me just bring back in that card from before, and this one would just need an insert which is 6 by 5, so just take 2 notches off and I would pop it into there, and that's what I usually do with those. But that's it for today, so thank you so much for watching. Coming back again with this Moonlit Moments kit. There's 2 more sheets to play with. One is at butterflies. Not quite sure what the other one is. Let's have a little look. We've got butterflies, and we have, come on then. Oh, we got the one with the bunting and the cake and the wine. So we've got that bunting there. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do with that yet. I might try and make it into some kind of weird flower, but we will see. But that's it for today. Like I say, thank you so much for watching. And I'll see you in a couple of days' time. Take care. Happy crafting. Bye bye.